Hello and welcome back to the Craft Mansion. I'm David, and if you're a returning viewer, then you're probably wondering why I'm standing in front of my storage unit, not in front of my props, as usual. Well, that's because today I have my first repair prop. It's a large prop, and yes, it's R2-D2. I have to repair some stuff. For example, there's the head, there's felt on it for the blue. I'll be using 2mm craft foam to make it smoother, and I have to change some details on the whole body, make it whiter. And the main thing that I'm going to do is change the legs. I'm going to repair them, make them even higher, and then elongate the legs and, well, do the proper base, because the base isn't what it should be. The only Star Wars props I've ever done were both commissioned. There was C-3PO and now of course his companion R2-D2. If you would like to see more Star Wars videos, give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment down below what you think I should do next. Yeah, I'd better start because there's a lot of things to do. I might split this video over 2 weeks, make 2 videos. So first thing first, I actually need to disassemble this, so I separate the legs and take off the head because I can then work on every separate piece. So the legs are connected to the main body by this rod, but first I need to disconnect these bolts. I grabbed a few wrenches, found the right size, and dismantled the legs. Well, I tried to. A few jabs got the job done. As you can see, I was struggling with the whole thing. I removed the felt from the head. I took off this plastic, tape at the back, this detergent bottle cap from the back. I basically dismantled the whole thing. Essentially, with this prop, I replaced anything I felt wasn't good enough, but fixed some of the stuff that could be fixed, like this box. The lid didn't need the handle anymore, so I took that off as well, and then refined the edge with my Dremel tool. The box and 2 caps could have stayed glued on really, but I just wanted to clean the extra hot glue off. And it really helped having the caps extended all the way inside. It made for a better grip. I masked off the circle at the front to prevent it being painted over. So now his head is entirely silver. I used a silver with the chrome effect, so now it's a bit shinier. And for the small panels on his head, I'll be using 2mm EVA craft foam. I also have these 2 little helpers over here, so I can see the different panels that go on the head and on his body. This was actually a gift. It's like a small vacuum cleaner for dust on your table. It's pretty neat. And it rolls as well. For the panels that form the wide circle at the top, I had to modify the previous designs so that 6 of them could fit equally. Then I made a cardstock template and traced that 6 times. There's the strips that cover the bottom, and the small circle that goes right at the center of the top. There are some more rectangles, and once those were finished, I used my heat gun to seal the foam, reducing that rough foam texture. I gave the foam a base coat of white and then sprayed on metallic blue. I actually had to put about 3 to 4 coats of white before applying the blue because, well, this was dark foam and I do need some white. I've actually ordered some but it still hasn't arrived yet. But the effect that the white left on these is that it put about like a solid layer of spray paint before I applied the blue. So it's a bit more solid. You know, the back is a bit more rough, but the front it almost looks like rubber. It's more reflective, so I think it works better with the metallic look of R2-D2. I removed the masking tape and proceeded to marking where each blue panel should go. I removed as much paint as I could and then sanded the plastic with a really rough sanding block. When using contact glue, you first spread some of it onto one surface and then some onto the other surface. And yes, that is a hair dye brush. I just didn't want to ruin any of my good brushes because, well, dry contact glue is very hard to remove. Then, once the glue is almost dry, you press both surfaces together. Since this part was very thin, I decided to use super glue instead. A few more details and the head will be finished. These 2 are like small blue screens, so I used my blue metallic paint. This was painted with red metallic paint since it's a bulb. To cover it, I cut a small circle of plastic, colored the back with a red marker, and super glued it on top. So the wires took quite some damage. There's actually this wire that's supposed to go in here, and this one is supposed to go in here. But it's very difficult to connect the wires in there, so I figured out that, well, switch it on first, that if I connect these 2, then the rest would switch on except for this one. I tried stripping the wire again, and this time it worked. Then I twisted and soldered them together. I made a battery pack holder and glued it upright inside the head. 6 of the bulbs go in the large circle, and then I drilled 3 holes in that smaller circle at the bottom for 3 bulbs. So the head is now finished, but I forgot one thing. This box over here should be blue, so I'll just go paint it really quickly. So you just stay there. Okay, now that that's finished, it's time for the body. I've already masked off the 3D parts, so next up is to paint the whole thing in white. Okay, so slight problem, the white spray paint didn't actually work. There's still blue and silver left, it's clearly shown over there. Would have thought it would be difficult to hide dark colors with white. I mean, yeah, it's unheard of, right? I'll just have to go the old-fashioned way and use paint. Luckily, I have a lot of white paint. Just gonna pour that in there. Oh, this is gonna be fun. This is actually something quite new. I love it. Yeah, I also had to use a paintbrush because the roller left some texture. Then I removed the masking tape and carefully painted over the old paint. At the top there are 3 blue panels. 2 of them have this particular shape. So I traced it onto painter's tape and then removed the middle part. On the prop itself, it was difficult to place the tape exactly in place, but with a little trial and error, I managed to get it in the center. I sprayed them with the same metallic blue paint I used for the head. R2-D2 has a lot of panels. To create the illusion, I used a thin felt pen marker to draw all the lines. Round the bottom there are a certain number of detailed panels. For one type of these, I first cut 3 layers of different sizes from hard cardboard. Then, I bent them slightly to fit the curvature of the body of the prop, superglued the circumference to prevent the cardboard from fraying, and then glued the 3 layers together. These circles fit inside an octagon, which I made from floor mat foam. Another detailed panel is this square with a rectangle cut from it. This was the largest of all 4 types. The last one was the cross, which I made from 5mm foam board. This goes inside the square that can be seen on the top left of the screen. I sealed all the floor mat foam parts with my heat gun and bent them into their curved shape while they were still warm. Before gluing them onto the prop, I spray painted each part. The cross is silver, while its outer square is blue. The large panel is all silver, but underneath it I glued paper which was colored in silver and blue. This one is all silver. There are 3 in total. There are 2 panels like this. I glued all of these panels with hot glue, by the way. I only had to do one of these since the prop came in with one already finished. The same goes for this. I only had to do one of them. So that's it today for the first part of this project. I will make a small montage, but the droid won't be fully assembled because that will be for the final reveal in next week's video. So obviously this project will be finished next week in another video, but if you like what you've seen so far, please give this video a thumbs up and comment down below if you're excited to see the finished product. If you do want to see the finished product, I'd recommend that you subscribe right here, if you haven't already of course. And in the meantime, while you wait for the second part, you can watch some other videos from my channel, 2 of which are these over here. And until next time, this is the first part of R2-D2, I'm David, and this is the Craft Mansion.